Hello everyone, welcome to Trade. Today we're going to be seeing the trade review for Wednesday, that is 1st December, and a trade review of what happened today. See, today, based on the global scenario, I'm talking about early in the morning, when all the global markets were bullish, we gapped up, had a good move on the upside. If anybody had seen my previous video, that is the analysis for 30th November, I did mention that I did expect a strong reversal at R1 and the previous day high, but if we break that, I did mention that we could hit this pivot, CPR, weekly CPR. Let me just get rid of these lines. See, this is the weekly CPR, this orange line, and the pivot and the monthly R1 are coinciding. But if you zoom in, you can see there are two lines there. One is the dotted pivot, CPR pivot, and the star is the monthly R1. So when we got this up move, right, I missed it. As I mentioned, I'll be trading only post 12 o'clock this month due to personal reasons. So I missed this move, and when we started falling, right, exactly since we reversed from here, see, on a 5-minute chart, we got a bearish signal. Now, if you check this on a 15-minute chart, we got a beautiful sell signal here. We got like a doji, almost like an inverted doji, and this price action is nothing but a evening star, which is a bearish price action at a pivot, and then we slipped almost like, say, 1000 points, I believe, almost around 855 points. So by the time I could log in and trade, I could see when this move started happening, right, I knew we were going to hit this CPR level. So I took a short somewhere here at about 600 PE, squared my profit here. Again, once this broke, shorted here and booked my profit at the CPR. See, it would be, we reversed from this weekly pivot and we hit the CPR. Breaking CPR at this moment was not expected, right? I didn't expect that to happen. I knew there will be a bounce from the CPR, so I exited here. Again, I tried to short when this trend line broke and exited early, because as we were going post 3 o'clock, I don't wish to hold any of my intraday trades, so I do tend to square up before 3 sorry. So somewhere here again I booked profit, and this is all the trade. The best trade was this, the beginning 36,400 PE, made about 18, and again 200 PE, made about 14, and these two trades were short scalp. Here I took a loss at 800 PE, that is, I believe in one of these bounce I just squared off. See, at the last, right, the best thing to do is scalp in the last hour. If you're scalping, you need to be very quick, because sometimes the premium drops rapidly. So in one of these candles I took my loss, I guess, in this particular, and this is nothing but I've taken a positional put, just 2 lots. Nifty, when we are seeing Nifty, I'll show you why I took this put. So what today I made 33,000. What I put is just 2 lots for 96. That is investing about 9,000. Just 40% of my profit I put in. I've not put in from my capital. Whatever profit I've done today, I took a positional. But usually I don't take a positional trade. But just because of this new COVID news that's come out, right, and a company CEO coming out and telling the vaccine is not effective, so expecting some kind of a fall further based on the news, I've taken that position. So I'll tell you all about that position when we are looking at Nifty. Now, coming for the trade review for tomorrow, I'm just going to shift to this chart where we have our levels marked manually. See, we had this resistance at about 36,800, but we reversed at almost 36,780 itself. So I'm just going to bring this resistance line here for tomorrow. This is the 15-minute chart of Banknifty, and this resistance zone, I'm going to bring it over here, because if we get an up move, we might see some selling pressure again here at 36,181. See, the global markets are still down, and SGX Nifty as of now it's showing a gap up of 53 points. So we cannot count on this until tomorrow morning. So just doing our analysis. However, whether it's a gap down or a gap up, we will take a call then. And this line will not come into effect here. And this support still holds good. That's about 35,340, still holds good. And below that, it's about 34,700. On this daily chart, few days back, I had shown that we might take support this pink line is the 200 EMA. We might take support at this 200 EMA. That's exactly what happened on Monday. Like we came down, took 200 EMA support, bounced. Again, the price action is showing that we are going down, right? So there is a possibility, based on how this price action looks, there is a possibility that we might retest this, or we might even break it. So that we don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But again, we'll have to be careful at 35,300. If we go there, we might get a bounce, or we might even break it and go further lower. See, similarly to what happened at over here, we came here 100, we got a small bounce, then almost retested and broke it, right? Something like that. Probably we might retest this and even break it. Maybe we'll have to wait and watch. So this level would be very important, 35,320, around 35,300. So, and just adding the CPR, the tomorrow CPR. See, the tomorrow CPR is slightly wider CPR. Today was a narrow CPR, so that's where most of the moves were trendy. So when we have a narrow CPR, I'm a little careful. I try to exit early. What happens is, either in the beginning or at the end, we'll get a big move whenever there's a wide CPR, and then between two levels we'll just remain sideways, either within the CPR or between this previous day S1 or S1 and S2, or in case we gap up probably from R1 previous day, most of the day will remain sideways, and then we will get one big move. And then we'll get one big move either on the upside or downside after some consolidation. So we'll have to wait and take a trade carefully whenever the CPR is wide. And this black trend line, I'm still holding it. Probably a good bullish move will come once this trend line is broken. See how long it's been. This trend line is coming in from 25th October, and we have still not broken it significantly, right? So this black trend line, in case in coming days or in coming weeks, week 1 or 2 weeks, if this breaks, and then we can consider the market can be a little bullish. See, I'm expecting a gap down. That's the reason I went and bought this puts. Okay, my investment is 9,000, but I think that's going to be a wrong decision what I've done, because as of now, let me try and refresh. See, as of now, SGX Nifty is showing 53-point gap up. See, what can happen with this position is, worst case scenario, if we get a huge gap up, this can become half. So whatever I've invested 9,000 will become somewhere around 4,000 or 3,000. If we get a flat opening, like say in Nifty, flat opening means like we closed at 16,070, right? If we get a small gap down somewhere close to like a 50-60 point, then I might break even. The buy price and the sell price will be equal. If we gap down and then start falling is only when I'll make profit, or a huge gap down. So we'll have to see on Monday. I'm ready to hold this trade. I hardly do positional, but since I've taken it, now I'm feeling this was a wrong decision because we are seeing a gap up. So even 53-point gap up will put me in huge loss. Like that premium might even drop 50%. That's the reason I just went with 2 lots, just to be on safer side. Now let's just see the open interest for Banknifty before I'll let you know what happens with this position. I'll be posting it on Instagram, whether I'm booking loss or profit on this. So stay tuned. And now coming to the open interest for 2nd December, right? So it's pretty clear that the market is showing bearishness even on the OI chart. There's a lot of call sellers that have come in. The put sellers are hardly they've come in. These are all that's existing put sellers, but the change in there are no new put sellers that have come in, right? The red lines here are hardly anything. And at 36,000 put, there's a lot of put unwinding, and the call writers have been added. So even 36,000 is a good resistance, and we might see a good support at 35,000. If that breaks, then the next support will be at 35,340 or 300 range. That is for Banknifty. And now coming to Nifty, see, even today Nifty had a pretty volatile move. We almost went up 260 points, and this is when roughly somewhere over here around 10:40, 10:30 we got the news that the new variant is not effective against the vaccine, and that's when we got about 400 points dip. Now I would be using this trend line in Nifty. See, I'm expecting a gap down, that's why I took the position what I showed you, but it looks like, and this support line, I'm going to move it here. it looks like we're going to get a gap up. Let me just put the CPR. See, if we get a flat gap up within the CPR, right? So there is a possibility we might get a gap up within the CPR range, consolidate here for some time, and then dip. And the dip confirmation is when this trend line breaks. Otherwise, we might even bounce from here. So if this breaks, yeah, we might see. My view is before this expiry, we will touch this level of 16,760 or so. So that's the reason I took a put. But it looks like we are gapping up. So if this trend line breaks, right, we could see this level touched again, 17,750 or so. And this price action is also similar to a head and shoulder, like left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? So if this breaks, the easy first target is the 17,600 for this head and shoulder pattern in 15 minute in Nifty. And anything on the upside, we will again continue to see these two lines were drawn yesterday. After dipping and going up again, we took resistance here. So I'm going to use the same trend line. These two trend lines that I've drawn, we could face resistance here, strong resistance at 17,100 and 200. And this level will move over here, 17,300. This is again a level where we might take resistance. Now looking at the OI data for Nifty. See, again in Nifty, it is the same thing. We have a lot of call sellers that have come in. The put sellers are hardly anything. The first support on the downside, see here, though we have a lot of put sellers, even the call sellers have been added. Okay, so it looks difficult crossing 17,000 tomorrow, but we'll never know how this particular strike price will ride. It can swing either way. And a good support is coming in at 16,900, and if we break that, it's only 16,800, and a good resistance is about 17,200, right? And that's pretty much what we saw on the charts. Also, a good resistance is over here, 17,200. For some reason, if we get an intraday move close to this level, probably it's a good shot. And a good support is over here, even based on OI and the price action, that is 16,850. Why I'm saying this is actually a gap from a previous. See, this gap is still pending, right? Maybe if we fall, we might cover this gap before this expiry. That's about 16,724, this gap here. So that's why I'm saying we might touch this if this trend line breaks. So that's my view for Nifty and Banknifty. Let's see how today. It was a good day for us. I put part of my profit in this, so that I didn't want to put anything from my capital, just the profit that I made. Let's see how this position goes tomorrow. And hope you like this video. If you do, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.